So right off the bat, what I am working on in this video, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not going to finish in this video. I've gotten to a point where I need an extra set of hands and I need some assistance. And right now I don't have that. So I've gotten as far as I can, but I wanted to show you and bring you a little story that kind of goes with this whole thing, because I think it's pretty cool. And it's, like I said, I've just gotten to a point now where I need some assistance. I don't have that help with me available right now, so I have to pause and wrap this up later, but I'll show you what I've got done so far, and then I want to tell you, like I mentioned, the story behind how this all came to be. So a few weeks ago, I did a video on drying my little mini cherry firewood using the patio door window to act kind of like as a greenhouse and kind of like heat up the wood with the sun, the power of the sun, heat it up and hopefully speed up the drying process. So the next day I got an email from the vice president of ShelterLogic, the shelter that I'm sitting in right now. And this shelter I've had since September of 2020. So almost 4 years I've had this ShelterLogic shed in a box. Well, the vice president, Derek, emailed me, and the cool thing was, he watches the channel, and he was watching that video. And the other cool thing was that he reached out and said that ShelterLogic actually has something that they have been testing to help with the drying of firewood. And they have had good results with drying and seasoning firewood with this product of theirs. So I was like, right there, I was like immediately interested. Well, what that product is a greenhouse in a box. Now I have the shed in a box that, like I said, I bought 4 years ago. It's still holding up great. I've been extremely happy with it. The quality, like how easy it was to put together. So when he mentioned that they have a greenhouse in a box and that they have tested this with drying firewood, like I said, I was more than interested. I was like, tell me more, tell me more. So through email, we were talking, and he offered to send me one of their greenhouses in a box to test and to see if it did actually help increase or decrease the amount of time it takes to season firewood. So I was super excited. I was very grateful, number one, that someone like the vice president of ShelterLogic is watching my videos, and number two, that he was willing to reach out to me and offer to send me their greenhouse in a box. So I just got this the other day, and I've been wanting to get this up and get it put together. So I started on that this morning, Saturday morning. However, like I mentioned earlier, I am at a point now where I need some help to pull the final big canopy over the top of it. But the thing with this greenhouse in the box is the same thing as with their shed in the box. Like, it went together super easy. Everything came in the box. Everything is right there. Everything is marked with numbers. So when you're looking at the instructions, you can line everything up. You make sure you got the right parts, the right pieces are all going together. The other cool thing is that none of the tubes, none of the pipes are the same length. So like they're all different lengths, so that you know when you're putting it together that you have the right pieces, which I think is pretty cool. So it goes together very easy. It's just that there is a part of it that it does make it easier if you have two people. So let me show you what I got done here to begin with. And then the other thing that I've kind of run into is I've kind of realized that this thing is a little bit bigger than I originally had anticipated. So I'm not exactly sure yet where I am going to put this in the woodyard. I might have to do a little rearranging. But the other thing is that, I mean, it does need, obviously, sunlight. The more sun it can be exposed to, the better results I think you're going to see with using it to season firewood. So I'm still, now that I have it halfway up, halfway assembled, I'm kind of like debating and maybe thinking of potentially putting this somewhere else. So I'll cover that. I'll show you what I have done. And yeah, and it's, the other thing is it's getting super hot and muggy right now. It's about noon, I do have a few things I have to go and do. So while I wait for my help to arrive to get back, I'm gonna go do some other things, but I just won't have time once I do have help to finish this up and then finish the video. So I thought I would kind of make this a two-part series on the ShelterLogic greenhouse in a box. So here we are. Here is the front of the greenhouse in a box. The only thing is, however, that there is nothing over the top of the center of it, the whole length of it. So I have both ends put on and the frame all put together. Like I mentioned before, it went together super easy. Very simple instructions to follow. Everything was in the box, everything laid out. Very easy, no problems at all. The only thing is, now what you need to do is you need to lay the final canvas down on the ground, and then you put some of these last tubes, part of the frame, in through the slots in the canvas, and then you throw a rope up over the top and you pull the canvas up over the top of this frame. So you actually need like two people, one pulling on each end to get the final canvas over the top and fastened on to the frame. But this is where, so with this frame, yeah, it is a little bit bigger than I anticipated. I was thinking I was probably maybe going to be able to like put it between this little woodshed and that thing over there. But now what I'm thinking is I'm going to have to just maybe, for the time being, have this kind of like a slight angle. And that way I can, when I'm done processing up the mini firewood, I can just come out of the original ShelterLogic and I can take it right into the new ShelterLogic greenhouse in a box. So I might end up moving the entire splitting and refining, processing part of the mini firewood operation inside of this. I just have to make sure I figure out where I want to put this. I mean, this is one of the better spots because at about noon, the sun comes over these trees. And so all day long, this spot right here has full sun until the afternoon when those trees kind of block it off. The other spot I did think about, and I am possibly considering, is over here. This area over here gets plenty of full sun all morning and into the afternoon. And I'm thinking I would be able to put this over here, but it might end up coming too far down to where I'm not able to then drive around the carport. So I don't know. I'm still debating. I kind of like this spot over here just because I do get a little more full sun. So that is, this is one option. The other option is where it is right now. So either way, I'm kind of at a pause right now. I'm gonna have to pause with putting the ShelterLogic greenhouse in a box. Let's take a look at this thing right here. And you can see the sides roll up to allow for some extra ventilation. But yeah, this thing, like I mentioned, it went together so far very easy. And according to ShelterLogic, this is actually supposed to help dry firewood and season it quicker compared to this. So this is working. That stuff in there is dry and ready to go. But as you can see, I don't have, I only have that much area where if I get this greenhouse fully set up, I will have a whole lot of square footage to use to season the mini firewood. And like the other thing, now that I was thinking about it, like I said, maybe I will just end up then moving the entire mini firewood processing center. So right now I've got everything in here where we break the chunks down into smaller splits, and then I have that tote back there full of the bags. But I think I'll have plenty of room to now move everything, move all of that in to this greenhouse. And so everything will be in there. All right, so like I mentioned, for now, I'm gonna have to pause on this little project. I will get back to it, hopefully, either later today or tomorrow. So I might have to wait a couple days, but that waiting a couple days might give me the opportunity to rethink where exactly I want this greenhouse to be. So again, a big shout out and thanks to Derek at ShelterLogic. Really, really, really appreciate you reaching out and sending me one of these greenhouses in a box to try and see if it does help season the mini firewood in a shorter amount of time. We'll find out. But before we find out, I need to finish putting this all together. So come back for that. Part 2 will be coming soon, hopefully. Can't guarantee when. Maybe the next video, maybe not. We shall see. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.